Russian President Vladimir Putin frequently boasts that his country is leading the world in developing hypersonic weapons, which travel at more than 5 times the speed of sound. But a string of Russian physicists working on the science underlying them have been charged with treason and imprisoned in recent years, in what rights groups see as an overzealous crackdown. Accusations of treason against Russian physicists could stem from various reasons, including suspicions of sharing sensitive or classified information with foreign entities, collaborating with international organizations or governments perceived as hostile, or engaging in activities deemed detrimental to national security interests. In the context of Russia, where the government closely monitors scientific research, particularly in fields with potential military applications, scientists may face scrutiny for their connections abroad or for involvement in projects perceived as threatening by the authorities. Most of those arrested are elderly, and 3 are now dead. One was taken from his hospital bed in the late stages of cancer and died soon afterwards. Another is Vladislav Galkin, a 68-year-old academic, whose home in Tomsk in southern Russia was raided in April 2023. Armed men in black masks arrived at 4 o'clock, digging through cupboards and seizing papers with scientific formulae on them, a relative says. Mr. Gorkin's wife, Tatyana, says she has told their grandchildren, who like to play chess with him, that he's on a business trip. She says Russia's security service, the FSB, has forbidden her from speaking about his case. Since 2015, 12 physicists have been arrested who are all associated in some way with hypersonic technology or with institutions that work on it. They are all charged with high treason, which can include passing state secrets to foreign countries. Russian treason trials are held behind closed doors, so it's not clear exactly what they are accused of. The Kremlin has said only that the accusations are serious and it can't comment further because special services are involved. But colleagues and defense lawyers say the scientists weren't involved in weapons development and that some of the cases are based on them openly collaborating with foreign researchers. And critics suggest the FSB wants to create the impression foreign spies are chasing weapons secrets. Hypersonic refers to missiles that can travel at extremely high speeds and also change direction during flight, evading air defenses. Russia says it has used 2 types in its war on Ukraine, the Kinzhal, launched from an aircraft, and the Zircon cruise missile. However, Kiev says its forces have shot down some Kinzhal missiles, raising questions about their capabilities. As the technology has been developed and deployed, the arrests have continued. Shortly after Mr. Gorkin's arrest in April 2023, he was remanded in court on the same day as another scientist, Valery Zvagintsev, with whom he had co-authored several papers. The state-owned news agency TASS has cited a source saying Mr. Zvagintsev's arrest may have been prompted by an article published in an Iranian journal in 2021. Mr. Galkin and Mr. Zvagintsev are both named on an article about air intake mechanisms for high-speed aircraft published by the journal Den in summer 2022. The FSB arrested 2 colleagues from the same institute as Mr. Zvagintsev, its director and the former head of a laboratory for work on aerodynamics at high speeds. Employees from the Institute of Theoretical and Applied Mechanics, ITM, penned an open letter in support of their 3 arrested colleagues. Now removed from the institute's website, it said they were known for brilliant scientific results and had always remained faithful to their country's interests. It said the work they had shared publicly had been repeatedly checked for restricted information by ITM's expert commission, and none had been found. Hypersonic is a topic you are now obliged to put people in jail for, says Yevgeny Smanov, a lawyer with First Division, a Russian human rights and legal organization. Mr. Smanov defended scientists and others accused of treason in court before he moved from Russia to Prague in 2021, fearing repercussions from his work. He says none of the dozen scientists had anything to do with the defense sector, but were studying scientific questions such as how metals deform at hypersonic speeds or the effects of turbulence. This is not about making a rocket, but about the study of physical processes, he says, and points out that findings may be used later by weapons developers. The arrests had started a few years earlier with Vladimir Lapugin. Now 83, he was jailed in 2016 but released on parole 4 years later. He had worked for 46 years for the Russian Space Agency's main research institute, TSNIIMASH. Lapugin was convicted over a software package for aerodynamic calculations that he sent to a Chinese contact. He says he sent a demo version as part of discussions about potentially selling the full package on behalf of the institute. But he maintains the version he shared did not contain any secret information, just an example that had been repeatedly described in open publications. Some sources told that all those arrested apparently in connection with hypersonics had nothing to do with developing weapons. Another scientist detained was Dmitry Koka, a specialist at the Institute of Laser Physics, also in Siberia, who was arrested in 2022 while he was in hospital with advanced pancreatic cancer. His family said the charges against him were based on lectures he had delivered in China, but that the content had been approved by the FSB and that an agent traveled with him. Koka died 2 days after his arrest, aged 54.